News. News is something that we came across every day in our life. All of us must be reading newspaper. But have you ever wondered why it is called newspaper? Obviously, as it contains news. There are various sources of news. For example, we can hear it on radio, watch it on television, read it in newspaper, and nowadays everything is available on internet. But what is news? What makes news a news? What is the criteria that determines whether something is a news or not? The criteria of news are: first, is it new? If it is not new, then it cannot be a news. Event which happened days and week earlier can still be a news if it is not published. Second, is it unusual? Things are happening all the time, but all of them cannot be a news. For example, if a dog bites a man, it is the news? No. On the other hand, if a man bites a dog, it became an overnight news. Why? Because it is unusual. Third, is it interesting or significant? Events which are new and unusual can still not be a news. Why? Because people are not interested in them. People are not showing their interest toward it. Fourth, is it about people? Mostly all news are about people because it is the people who are creating news. Sometimes many non-human sources also create news. But one thing that you should always keep in mind while creating a story is that your story should be centered on people. Always ask yourself a question: how this is going to affect the life of my reader, viewer, or listener. It is said that the letter in the word news is derived from 4 directions, that is north, east, west, south. It means news can come from any direction. Now, definition of news. Although we don't have a particular definition of news, but here are some. First, news is anything out of ordinary. Second, news is unusual picture of life. Third, news is anything that people talk about. The more it excites, the greater its value. Fourth, news comprises of all current activities which are of general human interest. And the best news is that which interests most of the reader. Fifth, anything that enough people want to read is news, provided it does not violate the canons of good taste and law of libel. Sixth, news is like a hot cake coming straight from oven. Now the next question is, what makes news? It is said that if a reporter provide answers to these 7 questions, then he will automatically create a good story. And these questions are 5 W's and 2 H. First, who, what, when, where, why, how, and how much. Unless news items satisfy all the questions of his listener and viewer, it cannot be a perfect news. Now, news values. First, timeliness. Time factor plays important role in effectiveness of a story. Nobody likes to read an outdated story. Journalism's famous slogan is "Today news is today's story." Impact. Impact of an event decides its newsworthiness. When tsunami wave hit several parts of the world, thousands of people were affected. It became a major news. But if the cyclone kills 20 people in Bangladesh, it may not have any impact on the other parts of the world. Third, proximity. When first person died in China due to coronavirus, does it make news for you? You may read it, but do not worry about it. But when a first person died in India for same, you became alert because it is in your proximity. Fourth, conflicts. Everybody take interest in conflicts, especially when it is between countries. So no war story fails to create interest in the reader. Fifth, prominence. Readers have interest in the name of person with whom they are familiar. Bigger the personality involved in the event, greater the news value. Novelty. When a fact first came up, the human attention is captured. But as the novelty of story tends to fail, same happen with attention. 7. Disaster. Natural calamities like flood, drought, or man-made calamities like Bhopal gas tragedy always make news. 8. Human interest. Almost everything in news concerns human being, but this particular news value is the emotional context of the news value. This is all about news. My name is Shivani KHACHI. Thanks for watching.